Good morning, good afternoon to everyone, and welcome to our session today. This is going to be all about security. So we have created a dedicated session on security, and you will learn a lot of things, important things to everyone. And Olaf here with me, who will be your presenter, will give you more details, and he also has a very cool demo on MFA, which is multi-factor authentication. That we will talk about a bit later. I would like to say a few things about who we are, and of course Olaf and Bachir here will also tell you some info about themselves, who we are. So I am Violeta, I'm a digital adoption manager for live events in EMEA. I'm based in Bucharest. Today I'm joined by Olaf, who will be your presenter, and Bachir is also here to help us answering questions. And there is also some other team members of the cloud security team. So we have Srihari, we have, let me see, I won't like to forget about anyone. We have Inge, we have Leon. So a bunch of people here that are, of course, very happy to help in case you have any questions for us. Keep in mind that for today, everything you see has an educational scope. So if you guys are planning to using the services further, you may connect with somebody from the Oracle account team. Also, our products are enhanced regularly. So in case anyone would like to watch any of our sessions recordings in the future, keep in mind that you might see some differences within the Cloud Console menu. I think that is all from my side. Let's see if we have anything else to share. No.
Yeah. What about the boost?
This will be announced at the end.
I see. Yeah, just forgot
Another
it.
surprise.
Okay. Sure.
All right.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Thank
over
you,
to you.
Violeta.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Actually, I'm really happy to have Bashir, Leon, Inge, and Shri on my side as the panelists and also supporting me on this. So if you have any questions during my presentation, feel free to raise them in the Q&A. They are very capable to answer them as well. So let me switch my screen. So the reason why we do this is because in the beginning of February, Oracle sent a mail to more or less every paying customer of the OCI tenancies. It will not have been arrived at the free tenancies because they are restricted on that, but it has been sent to all the administrators and cloud account owners of the paying customers using the paid option, pay as you go, or a contractual option on that. It is a good reminder that MFA helps to secure your front door. We are talking about the front door of the tenancy, which is one of the most interesting targets for abusers or attackers. And it's not that we are alone on that. Google is running a campaign about phishing emails for a month now. GitHub is asking for MFA enablement. Microsoft is asking for MFA enablement. You name it. Everybody is asking for that. It's a common way to improve your security for your front door, for the access that you do with it. Just a little reminder on the, on the shared security model that we have in an infrastructure as cloud service. It is the same for everyone using a infrastructure as service cloud. We, as the provider, provide the security of the cloud, the hardware, the services that we provide, but you as a customer are responsible. Oh my God. Sorry, my mouse is always too eager to switch slides. Come on. You as the customer are responsible for the data and for the stuff that you're doing in the infrastructure. So when you create a compute instance, when you access the tenancy for administrating it, you are responsible for your credentials, you are responsible for the information, you are responsible for the user access behavior, and of course the policies. We cannot control that. We cannot share any passwords that you have, because these are yours, they are stored without our access to that. Having said that, a number of attacks happen to clouds, not only to Oracle clouds, but every cloud available. Even if it's the smaller ones or the bigger ones, it does not matter. And the targets are there because for the attackers, these are supposed to be free resources that they can use for any type of misuse. Misuse can be using them as bot servers, using them as crypto miner services, or using them as DDoS attacks. It really doesn't matter. The common ones in here are, come on, there it is. We have to talk about guarding or accelerating the workload, simplifying the access, or delivering that. Today, we are talking about the first front line, the guarding the front door. The front door is your account to access the tenancy. And here's something that I grabbed from the nationaltoday.com website, because 1st of February is the US Change Your Password Day. The International Change Your Password Day is the second Thursday of May. Interestingly, the 1st of February was also pretty much addressed in my local press in Germany. So changing the password is an overall task that everybody should think of, everybody should take care of. And the numbers here, you have 39 seconds between attacks to your password, to your account. So if you have some online account, expect that 39 seconds, that one will be attacked. And it's across the board, not only clouds. The second number, 75 records are stolen every second. That means that even the storage is possibly insecure. We see all these events in the press. We notice them, but there are so many that we start to think of, well, just another one. And well, how should I care? You should really care, because in total, 86% of the passwords are insecure. 86% means a single password for a single site. If you reuse that same password for another site and so on, like entering in your mobile, you're just lazy and reuse the password. It always happens. Then it's not just the password, it's the spread of the sites that is insecure with your account. And you are the victim of stolen accounts, stolen passwords, and misuse with your identity. So what can we do against that? A common way is a password policy. So for example, here's one password policy that is recommended by the Center of Internet Security. And we have a reference later at the end of this presentation as well. It is said, well, 14 characters long, one uppercase letter, one lowercase letter, one number, one special characters, and you have to refresh it every 90 days. And here you see a screenshot how it is set up in a tenancy, for example, mine or yours, just the way it is. But is that safe? Well, not really. This is a valid password, a password that matches the common password policy, the password policy suggested by the CIS, for example. You are lazy, I am lazy, everyone is lazy, so things to remember is very difficult for humans. Therefore, from memory, you use something that you can easily remember. Of course, that kills security and makes it easy to guess. Welcome 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 exclamation mark is a twist in it. But when I refresh it after 90 days, I'm forced to do that, then I might use a different one with just 2 numbers changed. And the variant is already available in a password dictionary in the rainbow table that allows the attackers to run automated checks against your password, against your account. No matter where you use it, is it Instagram, is it Google, is it Amazon, you name it, or the Oracle Cloud. It's always the same process for that. So what can we do against that? Well, make it more difficult for the attackers. First of all, use some tooling. Don't remember your passwords. No way to remember your passwords. A password manager is a good way to do that. It's possibly not the safest way. Really, safety happens when you just ignore the internet, pull the cable, done. But that does not work today anymore. So a password manager is a good solution that carries all your passwords and allows you to use a new password per site that you visit, be it, again, Instagram, Amazon, Google, Oracle Cloud, Azure Cloud, whatever. Use different passwords for each site you use. You may have heard of the last attack to LastPass, which happened by keyloggers and also monitoring what the engineer did to access the passwords. Yes, problem. Keyloggers are installed through phishing mails, and again, something that you have to take care of. The password manager is a good tool if you keep it offline. Don't use online where you store it in the cloud. I actually use an SD card, actually a micro SD card, because it's smaller to carry, but easier to lose. So copies of these are important as well. And you have a master key. Only remember the master key, and that's it. Nothing else. Use generated passwords. Nothing yet that you can easily remember. I will show you doing a demo, a good example of doing that. And of course, you don't need to remember these passwords, and that really helps. But with MFA, you have something additional in it that complements the security of your password. It's like adding another factor that nobody knows, and there are many ways of doing this. Okay, let's jump into the demo. First of all, I need to switch that off, and then I go to one of my favorite sites. Let's do that. Okay. Currently, we have 2 different ways to log into a cloud. Actually, this one is a cloud where I can use the identity service, the IDCS cloud service, to log in. It is kind of a federation that we use for the tenancy, or direct accounts. Direct accounts are actually that one. Sorry, Google. I don't use that. And I pick the password from my password manager. So actually, my password manager looks like this. I have that account here. Simply copy the password. I don't know it. I don't see it, and paste it in here. Okay, this is a standard account, no MFA enabled for that. When I want to enable MFA, I go to my profile and simply say, oh, it's something complaining, verification pending. If you see that in your cloud that the verification is pending, please ask the user to do the verification. Make sure that this is done. We see there, I have an example for that. Some mail that, come on, it used to be there, gone. Yeah, well, you have, you get a mail, your customer gets a mail, your user gets a mail, just to click on the verification. If the link expired, then the verification can be resent. Now, it's really important to take care of that verification. That also tells you that a typical and human is behind that, and you're able to verify that. If it's a rogue account, then the verification may not work, and you are not able to track that down. So if you find this, you should delete this. Or first of all, tell the user, please verify that. And if not, I will delete you. Give it some leeway and you're done. Okay, so assume I did this. Let's enable the multi-factor for that. So we see something. I see here a code that I need to. And to show you how that really works, I need to switch to my mobile. Let me do that now. Where is my mobile? My mobile is here. And you should see my mobile. Yes, there it is. And I can now add this account in here and then go back to the other screen, provide the value that is shown up in my mobile authenticator. Come on. 2 seconds to go. Done. Now the multi-factor is enabled, and next time I log in, I will be asked to provide the MFA for that. I can, of course, disable that. And yeah, well, I have to do it again. So let's try whether my configuration is done already. Oh, mistyped. Nope. See, I need to delete that. So how do I do that? I click on that. Come on. Is it? Yeah. So I can delete this one. I have to delete it. Sorry for the German in here. And click on that again. Come on. Yeah, well, that's a pity. It doesn't work. Okay. Okay, let's try it again. Yeah, demo purposes. Come on. Okay. So very bad.
Olaf, I think it's the sunlight on your screen, by the way.
Or the mouse pointer. The mouse pointer is over the image.
Oh, was that one? Okay.
So maybe it's that one again. No. It already got that, I guess. Really weird. I deleted it just before. Okay. Good. That example in that. Well, I can show you another account how to do that. How that is actually used for that. I actually use my other administrator account. that is that one. And that is that one. Okay, so I need to use a different phone, which is my personal one, and I don't show you the contents of that. It is actually that one. Okay. Ah, damn it. That really kills me. Really interesting. Okay, so someone tried to steal my password on that, and I'm not able to log in anymore. Well, that's possible because I have a fallback for that. So if that is always shows you how not to do that and what can happen if you don't test it properly. So when you do the testing, always have 2 browsers open for that, until you find it's really working. Okay, I need to open the other browser first. Sorry for that. Okay, so I'm here. I can do something with that account, go to the users and make sure that I can disable that. Well, okay. So now it's disabled for the local user. You see that by the name, and I can redo that again. So let's go back to the other browser.
You're still sharing the screen of the phone, Olaf.
I'm still sharing the screen of the phone. Oh my God. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Okay, so what you see here, that my MFA does not work because it was kind of stolen by someone. So I need to take extra care of that and make sure that I can enable to that. So I'm going into here. Actually, I deleted the one. Make sure that, and you still don't see my password, don't you? Okay, so that works. Then I enable that. Let's see. Come on, let's try that with the phone again. Lock that phone first. Show that one, add another account. Now it works, and now I can provide the password. And I go back to my screen and show it here. Oh, come on. It's always good. Okay, now it's in there. And I can use that next time. Let's double check that. Sign out. Okay. Good. I have to rotate the password anyway, sometime in the future, maybe tomorrow. And now I have the temporary password. Let's go to the... Good. So at the moment, we have 2 types of tenancies. We have tenancies with local users and identity cloud services, and we have tenancies with identity domains, which I show you in a bit. For the local users, in this tenancy, each of these users has to enable MFA. It is not a really great one, and we really want to allow you to do it administratively in IDCS or in the domains. For the ones that use IDCS, I'll show you how to do that. For identity domains, it is essentially the same. The UI is a bit different. So let's switch to IDCS for the other users. First of all, IDCS is a full-fledged identity. So again, I have to log in this one with my real password in here. Nobody knows it. And sign in here. You always also see I'm federated with another identity provider. In this case, it is Azure. Azure can be used as well, and you can also redirect automatically if you want to use that. And Azure can be used to handle MFA. But with IDCS, we can also add additional factors to that as well. So in Identity Cloud Service and in domains, we can enable MFA. In here, you find an MFA menu for that, and here you can enable the factors. For your foundation license, if you have this one, the licensing has been updated recently, and you're allowed to use the mobile app passcode and email for that. You can also use trusted advisors for that. The trusted devices for that. The related setting is in here, how it is allowed, what is allowed. So you find this in the documentation. The link will be provided on the Q&A section, I guess. Okay, let's switch to there. So enabling MFA alone doesn't let it make it usable. So you have to switch, you not only turn it on, but also have to enable a sign-on policy to use that. In Foundation, you can use the default sign-on policy, edit that, go to sign-on rules. Of course, the default sign-on rule is in here. And, well, just prompt for an additional factor. And that can be any factor that is enabled. You see something else in here. I will describe this, tell you about this immediately. So again, once we enable that, we have to test that with a different browser, for example, and then see whether it's working properly. The other condition here is adaptive security. Adaptive security is a setting that monitors your login behavior, the behavior of your users. That can be enabled as well. Let's close that one first. And in here, you see a default provider. Added that, and you see the factors that are used for that. I also included a whitelist of IP addresses. Other IP addresses are considered as very high. I can change this one if I want to, but for demonstration, this is very high. The good thing, if you even don't configure that in the sign-on policy, you immediately can track the users, what they use. For example, risky behavior in here. Let's go to that one. Click on security. There is a rating for that. You click on that, and you really see what happened when and the details for that. For example, this morning I logged in from an unfamiliar location. Before that, I was logging in from another location, and it notices also travel between locations, impossible travel at very short time. That is something that I set up as well. Here you see I used a proxy server in Germany, and here I'm using a proxy server in Scotland. So different locations, even proxy servers are noticed, and if that is impossible travel within a short amount of time, it will be notified. And that changes the risk factor of your account. Okay, click on go again to that one. The whitelist that I used in here is set up in network parameters. And well, I named it whitelist. Easy. And you provide a CIDR range for that. For example, this CIDR range for some servers that we are using. And then this will be used in the adaptive security setting as an exclude IP addresses. Of course, if I don't have that whitelist, all IP addresses are considered suspicious. You see additional factors like too many unsuccessful login attempts, access from unfamiliar location, for example, 100 miles, or in Europe we say kilometers, or the time it takes to travel between the locations. So 400 mph is really fast. And well, it's not easy to accomplish even on German autobahns. In total, in average, you cannot drive 400 mph. Flights are different as well, but of course it takes some time, security, clearance, etc. Okay, so let's save it because I like kilometers much better. And with the sign-on policies, we can enable this, for example, by an additional rule. Let's do the MFA in here first. So you don't need to complete this. If it's empty, it is ignored. But if you want to have additional factors in general, simply use that setting, save it, and then let's test it. Actually, I have to open another browser because I want to be able to revert this once I run into errors. So that IP, that link for that, accessing that one. Oh, let's use the other one because that should work for all, not only for me. So let's see what I get here. Okay, I have to get an email verification. Oh, let's select alternative methods. Okay, no one is in here. So I get an email address with the passcode, which is another factor. Not only the tool, but also email. But email can be easily grabbed from somewhere man in the middle. The email actually looks like this. So I get an email with the code in here. And you notice I have a different factor, different size in it as well. So that makes really fun of that. So not to show it's just 6 accounts and then I'm in. I'm actually that user. I can see my profile, security in here, what is in here. Come on, allow that. I can do that myself or can allow that later. Yes, am I allowed? I am allowed to that, and I can check the security in here as well. So, oops, my risk factor raised because I'm using an unknown device. Okay. and also an unfamiliar location. No, it's the same. Oh, it's a different time. Yeah, so it's going through the same proxy possibly. But the unknown device is always changing. So it not only tracks your behavior, it also tracks the device that you use. And in general, it's enabled for all of the users without any manual setup for that. Okay, so because I need to demo that later, that works pretty well. The next thing I want to show you is a different factor that we use or are able to use in the identity domains. In identity domains, I have configured a way that is called passwordless. So actually, I'm using my real name here. When I sign in, I need to answer the passcode from a mail. No need to enter any password anymore. Come on. Yeah, that is also a bit timey. Come on. Show me the password. Sometimes I need to click. When I click on resend, I always get 2 mails because the other one is about to dequeue. Yeah, well, it's always the same. So what you see here is that reliance on email service is sometimes a bit time consuming. And that makes these factors a bit challenging.
If I can interrupt you, Olaf, I can say 2 things.
Yes.
I'll probably speak on behalf of everyone. Number one, I'm glad I'm not the only one that gets that resend and then questions which one you to use. And it's a live demo, so therefore,
yeah, it's actually a live
be,
demo, and for some reason it doesn't show up right now. I will check this if it shows up again. Again, if configured, here is a federation, the same federation configured for that I showed in the other tenancy, or alternative login methods. Well, nothing configured in here as well. Interestingly, it's not showing up yet. Good. One thing that we always want to ask you to add to your tenancy is actually a factor that is not considered a security factor. So what I usually do and recommend is, well, check your budgets. Make you aware that you have a budget configured. Why is that important? Because you will get a notification once the budget or even the quota is saturated, and that makes you aware that something unusual may happen. You can use the budget for your, it's not coming on, for your normal average budget that you use over the month. And if you add the quota for that, you will notice changes in the budget or in the consumption of that. Here, I have a very low budget of 10 euros and actually a quota, an alert rule of 10% of that, which is 1 euro. So if someone of you or the YouTube viewers hacks my account, which I hope not, I get a notification on that. So that really sends an alert to me, and I will be, of course, informed what to do. That is something not happening. Budget controls, again, is not seen as a security measure, but it helps you to control your budget and to be aware of some unusual behaviors. Sorry, no email yet. But when we come back to security, we always recommend to enable CloudGuard, and that is our CASP for the service, for the tenancy. You have to have a paid account. It's not working for always free. So what does CloudGuard do? It monitors the activity on your cloud, the configuration and the activity of it. It sends problems, they show up. Actually, I configured it with the vulnerability scanning service too for the VMs that I create, manage that. It can be also included with data save for the databases, and you see notifications in here. What you see here as well are CIS recommendations that are triggered in here, and we talk about this after the demo. This is important. CloudGuard takes care of them, notices them, and creates problems for these. Still no mail. Important in here is a feature called threat monitoring, and I'm really challenging this one because I haven't checked it for weeks. And let's see what happened here. So you see some accounts using it, and actually I was wondering whether it's not configured properly. You have to enable that to configure it properly, and then you can check, oh, well, it's probably that one. Yes, it is that one. You see the behaviors, you see what's in there. You can drill down by the users, for example, that one, take that one, and see what has he done. Elevated access, for example, impacted resources, you see in here. Okay, something with the network happened, organization subscription tried, whatever, and which endpoints are used. You see all the IP addresses. And what I usually recommend, of course, enable CloudGuard, enable threat monitoring for that. It's low cost, it costs you nothing. And you see a problem here, rogue user combined with CloudGuard. You can even make sure that this rogue user is deleted. So let's see how that could be deleted. So we have a detector recipe. It is in the default configuration. Here you see a rogue user enabled check, and you may edit that and select, for example, a user OSIT not in a custom list, and you provide a list of your emergency users that are allowed to be the local users, and everybody else will be removed. Sorry, attackers, that is on purpose. Okay, that is that. So I showed you a number of devices that I use. No, I showed you one device. It's the mobile authenticator. Are there alternatives? Yes, there are. For example, such a hardware device, or very common because you can use it everywhere else, somewhere else, YubiKeys. YubiKeys for FIDO, for example, brilliant. Works not only for OCI Cloud, Oracle Cloud, it works for other services like Amazon, like Azure, and so on. So it's a single investment, many uses for that. Of course, and even Apple supports that. Of course, you should have two of them because you can lose one and the other one will then kick in. Okay, having said that, we are protecting the front door like you're protecting the front door of your place. It is something that you add to that. You don't have just a key for your front door. You also have something else to make it more secure. And if you live in an area where it's really scary, then you take extra precautions, certainly, and that's it, what they do. And the internet and the cloud itself is a public service, so it will be attacked every time, every now and then. They don't close for business or close for weekends. They do it all the time. Good, we are running out of time a bit, so let's speed up. Next slide on that will be actually, we are done with the demo. And I showed you something that is called the OCI security foundation benchmark in CloudGuard. Bachir, can you tell us something about the OCI, the CIS OCI foundation benchmark?
Yes, thank you, Olaf, for a very interesting demo. As you know, CIS is a foundation, the center of internet security, and CIS develop benchmarks. One of them is the OCI Foundation benchmark in collaboration with Oracle, of course. This benchmark is designed to, with 47 recommendations, designed to help customers to adjust their security configuration and architecture based on these recommendations. Now, what we do with our customers often is we run security health check with them based on the CIS OCI benchmark to check if the configuration, if the OCI tenancy configuration is aligned and compliant with this benchmark. Now, as you can see, Olaf is sharing the GitHub page where you can check this script to check the CIS compliance script, and it has all the information necessary to execute it, set it up, and it's free, right, Olaf?
Yes, it's free, and I really recommend to run it in your Cloud Shell. So no footprint on your local device, nothing to lose, nothing to be stolen. And of course, with the additional setup of the MFA, of the front door, you can use it safely. Okay, that's mostly it. The final slide is actually something to remember. Hackers only need to win once to succeed, but we as defenders, and you with your front door as well, we need to win against every single attack. So there can be multiple, and MFA is not the final solution for that, but it's helping to make it more difficult for the attackers or hackers. Okay, so that is that from my side. And
I think, Olaf, we have
Olaf.
questions. Right?
Yes,
we have a couple of questions to ask the attendees based on
sure.
what you've demonstrated so far. So let's see first if after this demo,
Yes.
do you think your tenancy is really secured?
Oh yeah, we have a poll for that.
Yeah, and the poll is.
It's interesting how the answers has changed, right?
Yeah, well, so let's
Compared
see.
to the previous one.
No, it's still the same so far, the same percentage. 65 voted no in the beginning of the call.
Yeah.
And now let's see, but I mean the votes were more.
Yeah, it's changing.
Yeah.
Changing, right?
So you know ways to secure your tenancy much better. And of course, it's not the only measure. There are much more, and some of them are presented on the security posture management cloud coaching event. And once we can put back the video on that on YouTube, we will let you know. Okay.
Okay, we have one more to run, just one more. So
yes.
Before we run the second one, Violetta,
yeah,
I believe for a message for all the attendees, especially who work for, if you are an Oracle Cloud customer, an OCI customer, and you'd like help in the security health checks, it's important to reach out to your account team and request that, and we'll see and we'll help you.
Exactly.
So, Violetta, you're this third poll. Yeah.
Just a little thank you for all the panelists and Bachir for attending the call and helping on the Q&A. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, and have a great day.